Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you're doing well wherever in the world you are, whatever time of day you are watching this. Welcome to your Nottingham Forest news. In today's video, we will be going through Steve Cooper's presser yesterday and talking about potential players that may miss out tonight. We will give you the latest update on Serge Aurier and whether or not he will be eligible to play in tonight's game against Fulham. On top of that, we will be talking about Steve Cooper's future and the links tying him to Brighton. But don't forget, tonight at 7:30 is the big game, and we will have it live for you here from 7:30. The link is in the description below, so go ahead and hit that notify me button so you don't miss it. Like I said, we'll be live from 7:30 where we'll be discussing the team news. This team news is going to be crucial. So, guys, let's get into the video. Before we do, as always, please do give the video a quick like if you are excited for the match tonight as Nottingham Forest take on Fulham in the Premier League. Subscribe to the channel if you are new and always have those notification bells on so you don't miss a single upload. If you would like to support us, it's 99p to become a member and you'll get all the Forest emojis. And don't forget to check out all the links on Amazon we have in the description below, as we have scoured the Amazon market to bring you the best deals. If you hit our link, it will take you straight to it. Please check them out in the description below. Let's get into the news as we build up towards tonight and the big match. So Steve Cooper conducted his presser yesterday and he had a lot of interesting things to say. And I think the one that caught my attention the most was what he said about Mangala. He says he's had another setback on his injury, and he said it's not a major setback, but he may be out for a couple of days. I think his exact wordings were, it's put him back a day or two in total. Now, is this mind games from Cooper? Is this Cooper talking about his usual thing when it comes to injuries where he downplays them or upplays them and just confuses not just us, but the opposition as well? I honestly have no idea. My gut feeling says that Mangala is fully fit. Why? Because there's been pictures of him training with the full squad all this week. There's been nothing to indicate to me that he has been injured apart from what Steve Cooper's saying. And an injury where it's a day or two, to me, says maybe he's pulled a slight muscle, maybe he's strained something very slightly, or maybe they're just cautious about him being put back into the team. Either way, it does worry me a little, as I think maybe Cooper won't be looking to start Mangala tonight and saving him. However, what I would say to that is, if the injury is not something that could potentially turn into a longer term injury, we have a 2 week break coming up. Now, potentially Mangala will be called up into the Belgium team, but from a selfish point of view, I still want to see him start tonight. I think we've been missing his dynamo in that midfield area ever since he's been injured from the Everton game, and it will come as no surprise to you that with him out of the team, we have picked up a total of 0 points. That's how important this guy is to the team. So I don't know if this is mind games or not by Cooper. I can only try and second guess him. And my guess is that he's trying to throw the opponents off and Mangala will still start tonight. But we will find out at 7 p.m. once the team sheet gets released. Guys in the chat, guys below, guys watching, should I say, let me know in the comments below. Does Mangala start for you tonight, or do you think Cooper will bench him? Or maybe he doesn't make the team squad at all? Let me know down below. Other things that he started to talk about were the likes of Serge Aurier, who had been officially announced as a Nottingham Forest player. I'm sure you guys have all seen the videos and the interviews where I think he spoke really well about why he wanted to join the club, how happy he was. He also has a relationship currently with Bolly, who introduced him into the club and made him feel welcome. He has a wealth of experience. I know he split the fan base opinion in terms of do we need him or not. But overall, the Premier League experience he brings, the Champions League experience he brings, and the international experience he brings as well, I think only strengthens the squad. I see this signing, as I've said many times before, as completely risk-free, especially with the versatility of his position. He can play at right back, right wing back, and he has been known to slot in at centre back as well. So that versatility in a shaky defence that we currently do have, does one of two things. Either he can push his way into the first team if he trains well, etc. But also, he will force those ahead of him into more competition, therefore having to keep their game 100% all the time. Otherwise, next man up, as Steve Cooper says. However, the caveat with this is that his work permit still hasn't cleared. Now, at the moment, it doesn't seem too hard to get a work permit. If you look at the likes of Diego Costa, who hasn't played a game in over a year, his work permit got rejected when he joined Wolverhampton. On appeal, though, they were able to overturn this, and they were able to overturn it quite quickly. I feel that Forest wouldn't have released Serge Aurier into the team sheet, into the 25-man squad, without that confidence or being told, so to speak, that that work permit will clear. The other thing to say on that as well is he will definitely not feature in the Fulham match tonight, neither in the starting 11 or in the squad at all, because the work permit hasn't cleared. So it won't be likely we will see him until after the international break, which I think is against Leicester, will be the first time that he can fight his way for that position in the team. But we do know he is named in the 25-man squad. Forest have signed him and agreed terms and everything with him. It's just about getting that work permit through. And according to Cooper, it will be done in the next couple of days. And in Cooper, we do trust. So that's the update on Serge Aurier. Now let's talk about the man himself, Steve Cooper, and what he said about the link to the Brighton job. As I mentioned to you last week, this one was dead in the water and it wasn't going to happen. And Steve Cooper pretty much, not in the exact words that I wanted to hear, but they were close enough, basically said that there's no truth behind the link with him and Brighton. He said he loves the club, he loves the players, he loves the staff, he loves the fans, and he loves the city. And you can tell, either directly or indirectly from what he's saying, that he's actually quite happy in the job. But it's not just about happiness with him. I think, as I've mentioned before, it's about the belief that's been put into him. When you get an owner that backs you with 130 to 150 million, whatever the official figure is, you have to then have nothing but respect and love for that person. And that's what Steve Cooper should have towards Marinakis. He has given him the tools, the toys, the players, whatever you want to call it, to go ahead and tackle his dream. I think a lot of people forget that every manager's dream is two things: to represent their team in the Premier League and do well, and also potentially represent their country at international level, as in manage their country. At the moment, think about this: Steve Cooper is living every single manager's dream. Think where he's come from, how hard he's battled at Swansea, how hard he battled last year at Nottingham Forest. Why? Because his achievement is to get a club into the Premier League. But that doesn't stop there for him. It's to actually manage that club in the Premier League. So for all of you guys, and I know there's a bit of a movement at the moment for Steve Cooper out, understand that he is so motivated that we will not get a more motivated manager through the door at Nottingham Forest than him to achieve his goals. A lot of people say that something looks off about him. I agree with that. I do. But what I would say to that is it has to be tiredness. He hasn't had a break in 12 months. Give the guy a little bit of slack and understand the pressure he is under. But let's see what he does tonight. Tonight is a huge game, and his team choice is going to define this season for me. It is important, it's imperative that when we're coming off a horrendous, horrible result like we did against Bournemouth, for example, that he has the ability to react to it and to make the changes. Look, we've seen it last year. We've seen when we bounced back. I remember once we played Luton and we had that horrible result where we had that disallowed goal for no reason, etc. We bounced back. We got a result the next match. But this now is on a higher scale. This is the Premier League. We've had 3 of them in a row. You could argue that most people would have expected us to lose the Man City match and the Spurs match, but not the Brighton match. Therefore, the reaction has to now come from this, not Brighton, Bournemouth now. Bournemouth match. There we go. Got the words out. Therefore, the reaction has to come in this next game at Fulham. He has had plenty of time between that match and now to get things in order with the players. And this team selection is going to be huge. Let's move on and talk a little bit about the match tonight as we build up to it and my nerves and my excitement starts to grow. There's no shock, as you know, that I think there needs to be defensive changes, and I think we will see it, but I don't think he will go far enough. I think that we're going to see either Bolly or Bidet come into the middle to mark out the Mitrovic threat. I still think McKenna goes into the team. I'm fine with that. And Worrell as well will stay as his captain. Now, if Cooper does drop Worrell, I think that would be the biggest sign of change and intent from him. But I don't think he'll go that far. If you agree or disagree, let me know down below. And then obviously Lodi and Williams will pick themselves. And the question will be, what will he do with the two CMs in the formation he chooses to play? I think ideally he wants to go for O'Brien and Mangala, but if Mangala's injured, do we see Freuler or Coyote come into the team? Now, which player it is will determine what Cooper's mindset is. So let's assume for now Mangala isn't fit to start. If he goes in with a Freuler, to me it shows attacking intent rather than wanting to be a bit more defensive. If he brings Coyote in, I feel that it's a bit of a negative mindset. So I think that decision there is going to be interesting to see. Then when we come up front, has he learnt from his mistakes that you do need a number 9 up front to have that focal point? And will he have the kahunas to drop Lingard to free up MG Dub in the number 10 position with Johnson playing a little wider? Now, there are still other players I want to see. Don't get me wrong, this would not be my first choice starting 11. I want to see Dennis in the team. I want maybe Sam Surridge to be chucked up for a game or two to see what he's got to offer. However, we have to work with what Cooper wants us to work with, and he likes that 3-5-2 formation, and I don't think that's going to change yet. Another defeat or two, and I think he'll be forced into a change. But that's why this Fulham game is so important. We're at home, we're at the City ground, we have to win this match. I know I've said it's a must-win game. A lot of you have disagreed with me, but the pressure that will rise if Forest lose or draw this game is going to be huge. We're going to start to find ourselves being cut adrift with Leicester when what we really need to be doing is looking up at the table and seeing how high we can rise. 3 points here opens that pressure valve and releases it for Nottingham Forest for at least a week until, well, 2 weeks because of the international break. So that's my thoughts on the game. I can't wait for it, but I'm damn nervous about it. Let me know what you think the result will be tonight in the comments below. If you're not going to the game tonight, please make sure you join us for the watch along from 7:30 p.m. After that, like I said, we will have the live players ratings, as we always do with you guys. And then following that, we will have the fan forum where we'll have special guest Ez, my mate, will be coming on and we'll be discussing the match. He'll be at the match tonight, so it will give an additional perspective to the game. And as always, you guys are welcome to come join us on the panel and let us know your thoughts on the game, which inshallah will be a victory to Nottingham Forest tonight. Guys, thank you for watching. Before you leave, as always, if you would leave us a like for the video, add your comments in below. I'll read and reply to every single one of them. Subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on so you know when we go live for the watch along tonight. And if you'd like to support the channel, you can do so with 99p and becoming a member and unlocking all those perks, including all the Forest emojis for yourself. And on top of that, if you're doing any shopping tonight or this weekend on Amazon, please use our link below. It's completely free to use, and just carry on shopping, and Amazon will give us a little bit of commission to say thank you for guiding them to the website. Until tonight, come on you Reds. We'll see you for the watch along.